Thank you very much for being today with me in this video. I believe that what we're going to talk about today is one of the most important theme and subject that you will ever hear about. And the subject is about self-love, how to actually love yourself. We're talking a lot about self-love, that we should give love to ourselves, that we should like ourselves, etc., etc., etc. But in reality, most of us don't like ourselves. And that's a big problem because in this way we are losing out a lot in life. And so I have written something for you so that we can go through it. And I have started from a very low point in my life. I have started emotionally very, very low. So I had to work really, really, really hard to get on the plus side. And a lot of the times it's hard, and I'm very thankful that I have come across cognitive behavioral therapy and all its techniques. And I'm very grateful that I can help a lot of people get out of depression, anxiety, and all that nasty, nasty, nasty states. And one big problem is the way that we talk with ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves. Instead of creating a loving relationship with ourselves, we are essentially berating ourselves and putting ourselves down. And this world, the world that we live in, it's filled with expectations, criticisms, distractions, and the most important journey that we can take is that on the inside, the journey of transforming our relationship with ourselves so that we can start and begin to love ourselves, because you can give that to yourself. It's not something that you have to earn, it's something that you give to yourself. And that's one of the most important gifts that you can ever give to yourself in your life. So this world expects a lot of us. You see that in social media. You have to be born a certain way, you have to look a certain way, you have to do certain things, you have to. And that's all crushing us. Then we have criticism from other people, criticism from society. And the worst criticism is the critic that we give to ourselves. What we tell to ourselves matters a lot. And I'm going to talk about why self-love is essential in our lives. How can this self-love give you emotional resilience and strength? And why cultivating it is not just an option. I mean, it is an option, but it's a responsibility to ourselves so that we can really start to appreciate ourselves and to lead a better life that is unaffected what we achieve, what other people think about us, how we look, etc. But that we bring this forth from our inner self, from our inner being. Okay? It's not simply an act of kindness. It's a kind of a superpower, you know? Do you know what is the secret of, or the super weapon of the superheroes? Can you guess it? It's love. Love for others and protecting them. Because being a hero essentially means being a protector. And the first person that you have to protect is yourself. That is the superpower that you can use to transform your life in a very, very, very deep way. And I'm actually very emotional because it's a topic that always triggers deep emotions in myself and memories about past pain, etc. But you can use all of that to grow. You can use all of that as fuel to move ahead in life, to achieve a better life, to achieve a life that is worth living. And the question is, should you love yourself? Why love yourself? You know, loving oneself, loving yourself begins with a decision. Maybe it may seem that this decision will be unnatural at first. And especially if you have never thought about that you should love yourself, it's not about narcissism, it's about creating a deep bond with yourself, a deep loving relationship with yourself. And excuse me, sadly, most of us grew up in environments where self-love was undervalued, misunderstood, and a lot of the times ridiculed. Sometimes it's just hard to talk about that to people because the first thing that comes to mind is narcissism. You love yourself, you're a narcissist, you have to love yourself, others first, but it's the other way around. We should first create this deep love inside ourselves before we give it to others. But just because you weren't taught this skill doesn't mean that you can't learn it now, and doesn't mean that it's not worth it. It's very much worth it. And one thing that can happen is that when you understand that self-love is very important, you may feel shame for not loving or not having loved yourself in the past. And I have felt that. But this shame is firstly not useful, and it's not fair to say that. You can't feel shame for having done something that you didn't know it was wrong. And once you recognize the importance of self-love, it's almost like a duty to bring that forth, to cultivate it inside yourself. And ignoring this message or ignoring this idea, I think that it can give you a lot of dissatisfaction, and you would be doing a disservice to yourself to do that. And self-love is not just an idea, is an act, is something that you do, something that you decide to do, is the act of giving yourself respect. So it's self-respect, to give yourself kindness, and understanding that that is something that you would give to someone that you deeply care about. And the first person that would be wise to care about is you, it's yourself. Because let's face it, it's most of the times it's a hard and harsh world, cold world, where it seems that everyone is trying to scam us, everyone is trying to just live by, and it's not a nice place. So the worst part is that we start to treat ourselves the same way. We tell ourselves things that probably we wouldn't tell to another person, things that we wouldn't tell to a child, our child, but we do that to ourselves. It's not to shame you or me or anyone, it's just something that we do. And it's just not something useful, it's not something that brings us any good. I mean, we have been taught that way, we have been scolded too many times, we have been criticized, ridiculed, and a lot of the times it's hard, so this can be one very strong foundation for your growth and for bringing forth yourself, because being strong sometimes means to be vulnerable, to not to not always display strength, but paradoxically accepting yourself as you are can bring a lot of strength into the world. And it's about being your greatest ally. And especially when the world starts to feel like an arena where you're constantly judged and constantly put down, you know. So yes, as you said before, love can be seen as a superpower. And imagine love being the most powerful tool or weapon in your arsenal of all the tools that you can have, okay? And you can be like a superhero wielding a powerful weapon, and you can use or harness this self-love to become unstoppable, you know. Every time that something hits you back, you can say, okay, that has hit me, but I will not take away the self-love, self-respect, and care for myself. I won't do that. I simply won't. And I will use this as fuel to burn it, and to use this as a super fuel to fuel this self-love and to get ahead in life. Okay? But to get ahead means to have a deep connection with yourself, and everything else will be easier. And the deeper you love yourself, the more resilient you become against rejection, against every kind of rejection you might think about. You become resilient against fear, against self-doubt, because you may feel self-doubt, you know, of course. We don't know what will happen in the future. We can't know, but I can have a sincere love and not doubting myself that I will take away this love and this support for myself. That's a very important power to have. And it's a force that allow you to remain authentic and grounded even in the face of every life adversity, you know. Someone rejects you, okay, yes, they have rejected me. But on the other hand, I will still give myself love, respect, and attention. I will treat myself the best of my abilities. Okay? Yes, I have failed at that, but I will still give myself love. I will still celebrate myself. I will still celebrate life. Three great ideas here. So, the strength of self-love. It is resilience against rejection. So, loving yourself fortifies you against the fear of rejection. When you value yourself intrinsically, so internally, the opinions of others no longer hold the power to destabilize you. So, you know, I will go as far as say that every rejection is self-rejection. You know, a person may say that you're stupid, okay? But as long as you don't think that about yourself and that you don't accept that, you won't feel this as a rejection. You will feel that this person is wrong, you know, and this person is wrong, and I don't want to have any part with that person. Okay? Self-love can bring authenticity in yourself and in your life, because self-love frees you from the need to play roles, any role in your society or in your life, or wear masks. You can show up in the world as your genuine self, unapologetically, and you can say, I am here, I am doing that, I want that, I would like to have that. And that's okay, that's great, you know, as long as you don't hurt anybody, that's actually great. An inner support. When you love yourself, you become essentially your own cheerleader, your own biggest supporter, you know, and we all need that. You provide the encouragement and strength that you need to face all the challenges, whether through kind words or deliberate action. You know, acting in a way to support yourself and speaking to you. That's the most important part. Speaking to yourself the most supportive way that you could. And an interesting thing is that the more you love yourself, the more you can offer to the world. Self-love is not a selfish act. It's not about being selfish. It's a gift that you give to yourself, and through yourself can bring this gift to the world. When your cup is full, as they say, you naturally overflow with this energy, with kindness, with understanding, with generosity, with charisma, with aura, with all this good, juicy stuff that we ourselves and all the people around crave for. It's so rare to have that in this world. I think that self-love will bring you greater mental health. Loving yourself will certainly reduce anxiety and depression. You will stop berating yourself for not being perfect and instead embrace your humanity. I can show you how to do that. On one-on-one consultations, we can do that. I can help you with that. You will have the courage to connect. When you will love yourself, the more you love yourself, the more fearless you will be in the approach to your life. The approach to your life, to other people, to a job. You're no longer going to be paralyzed by fear of rejection, and you will allow your authenticity to shine through you. Success. A self-loving person operates from a place of confidence and clarity, often leading to greater success in personal and professional pursuits. Because you will not lose time, energy, focus on putting yourself down, on berating yourself, on thinking that you're not good enough, that you have to earn love or support or etc. Okay. And the fourth idea is that you will get charisma and this magnetism in yourself. Self-love will and certainly does enhance natural charisma. People in general, we are drawn to those people who are at ease with themselves. And we find those kind of people intriguing and inspiring. And you will find freedom in self-love. Because it's one of the most liberating aspects with self-love is the independence, the inner independence it will bring you. When you rely on yourself for validation and happiness, you're no longer shackled by the need for external approval. You don't need anyone else to give you that. This freedom, is my opinion, is very transformative. It allows you to live your life on your terms. You will not need to feel the expectation of other people. No, a lot of times we try to do that and it almost never works. So, two things. No more waiting. You don't need someone else to love you before you can feel good about yourself. Your self-worth is no longer tied to anyone else's actions or opinions. You become the one that gives value to yourself. So it's self-value. Every value that you feel has been put away from you or taken from you, it's actually self-taken. You have agreed to that in a way. You said, yeah, I am not worthy. And freedom from fear. Again, the fear of rejection or criticism dissipates when you love yourself, because you know your value isn't defined by others, so it doesn't matter. It may be painful to be rejected, to not get the job, to not get the boy, the girl, etc. But I can still love myself. I can still feel happy inside about myself. And as you go on this journey, and as you deepen your self-love, you will begin to see life through different lenses. You will find joy in your own company. You will strengthen your individuality and your beauty, and you will find actually a great strength and beauty in this, let's say, the imperfections. You will find that in these imperfections you are perfect as you are. You don't need to do anything to earn love. You give that to yourself. Life becomes less about proving yourself to others and more about experiencing it to the fullest. So you will get deeper experiences. So the more you love yourself, the more open you are to the richness of life. You take risks, you embrace opportunities, and savor moments without hesitations. You won't need anyone's approval to do that. And you don't need anything on the outside to do that. Authentic connections. Self-love fosters genuine relationships. You attract people who appreciate you for who you are, not the idea or the mask that you have maybe previously put up. Because let's talk frankly, we are, as people, do that. We want to be liked, we want to be loved, we want to be respected. But as said, the first one to do that has to be us. We have to go to do that, to give that to ourselves. So now let's go to some practical ways that you can do to cultivate your self-love. And it's a process, it's not an overnight process. It requires intention and practice. But I think it's one of the most important practices that you can do in your life. First one, not that counterintuitive, but as I said before, speak kindly to yourself. Replace self-criticism with affirmations. Instead of saying, I can do this, try, I'm learning, and that's okay. But I can show you that on therapy, how to actually do that so that you can feel that deeper in your life. How can you get that emotionally, not just logically, because yeah, it's logical. We shouldn't be talking bad about ourselves, but when we do, it seems logical, that we may feel like a loser, that we may feel like not good enough, that everyone else is having a blast, and so we are missing out, and blah blah blah. Okay. Next one, celebrate small wins. Acknowledge your achievements, no matter how minor they may seem. Every step forward is a great progress. It's a step. 3. Set boundaries. Protect your energy by saying no to things and people that drain you. Remember, saying no to other people can be a yes to yourself. Forgive yourself. Let go of past mistakes. See them as lessons rather than your failures. It's all a big lesson. Doesn't matter what happened, it matters what you do now and tomorrow. 5. Prioritize your well-being. Make time for activities that nurture your body, mind, and soul. Whether it's exercising, meditating, or pursuing a hobby, prioritize yourself in your self-care. And lastly, number 6. There are many other ways, but these are 6 that I have compiled for today's video. Is be your own advocate. Stand up for yourself when needed. Treat yourself with the respect you deserve. So it's not about it's about arguing for yourself. You have a critical thought, you may say like like a prosecutor, it will say that you are guilty of not being good enough, and then try to be your advocate. Say that first, you don't need to be good enough, because good enough doesn't exist. What is good enough? It's earning a certain amount of money. It's what? That can be very, very arbitrarily. And so try to disprove this critic or prosecutor or persecutor, how you want to call it. Yes, and self-love is a transformative power. When you begin to truly love yourself, and believe me, if you're going to work on that, you will achieve that. You will unlock a new dimension of your life. You will become more attractive, more charismatic, more inspiring. Not because you're trying to be, but because self-love radiates naturally. You don't need to try hard. It's something that you will just naturally do. Like drinking a coffee, you will become more. You stop fearing the judgment of others, and you allow your inner light to shine brightly through you. So, imagine a life where you no longer feel the need to prove your worth, where you approach each day with confidence and joy, and where your presence positively impacts those around you. This is the power of self-love. It's maybe a little bit overconfident, but why not? A lot of the times you have probably been underconfident. Why not be overconfident for once in a lifetime? Okay? And before we leave, as I said before, self-love is a decision. It's a decision to love yourself, and it's one of the most important and profound changes that you can make. I believe that it's a superpower. I believe that it's a superpower that will transform your relationship with yourself, with others, and with the world at large, And you can take the first step. I believe I will show you. We can work one-on-one. I can show you how to do that exactly, how we can do that together, how to counteract these persecutors that you are having in your life, and you will start to feel better almost immediately. So, speak kindly to yourself, forgive your past, and embrace your worth. And you give worth to yourself, by yourself. You don't need anyone on the outside to decide how worthy you are. So, you are deserving of love, not because of what you do, but because of who you are, and not just who you are, just because you are. You don't need to be anything special to be special. Okay? And remember, the more you love yourself, the more you can experience life to its fullest richness. The more you love yourself, the more you can give to yourself and to the world. And the more you love yourself, the freer and more authentic you become. So, in this way, self-love is not just a practice, it's a revolution in your life. And the most beautiful part is that it starts with you. Okay? Again, thank you very much for listening, being here with me. You're welcome to support this channel. You're welcome to work with me. I have a short form that you can contact me and we can talk about that. And so, until next time, I wish you a loving relationship with yourself.